This episode of I've Had It is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.YEAH. So are we supposed to start the podcast?
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Let me try it again. 1, 2, 3.
There you go. All right, Pumps, what have you had it with?
What I've had it with are limp dick handshakes. When you shake someone's hand and they do the half or they do a soft squeeze, I want a firm handshake, male or female. I don't care. If you give me the soft serve on a handshake, I immediately don't like you.
Kylie, that's a record all-time fast before Pumps mentioned penis in an episode.
I'm just saying everybody's had that limp dick handshake.
Limp dick. It was the very first words of the podcast.
It's getting earlier and earlier and earlier. I can't believe she gets through the clap without saying dick.
I am shocked. I mean, next thing we know, it's going to be penis, 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 clap. I mean, it's
ready, penis, penis, penis.
Yeah. It is getting earlier and earlier. Well, I'll tell you what. If there's one thing that you have been consistent about lately to Kylie, me, and our listener, it is your opposition to limp, small, unerect penises. And I want you to know we hear you, we understand you, and we're here as long as you need to talk about it. We are here with open ears.
Thank you. I feel so heard.
Maybe if you opened your legs,
I wouldn't have this problem.
We wouldn't be talking about penises all the time.
To be fair, we were talking about handshakes.
Right. I'm just saying, I believe it was Sigmund Freud who talks about the subconscious. And I'll just say that you used adjectives and colorful language to describe the handshake that, of course, is reference to penises.
Right.
I am not a psychiatrist.
You just play one on a podcast.
That's right. All right. Let me tell you what I've had it with. I've had it with the American education system because it failed me in a sense that I absolutely, positively, 1,000,000% do not understand centigrade nor the metric system.
That is so true.
When I travel abroad, a doorman at a hotel, perhaps the front desk agent will say, "Oh, it's going to be a great day today. It's 26. I have no idea what that means.
Is it hot or cold? Only thing I know about centigrade is 0 is freezing. Wait, 32 is freezing. See, I know nothing.
0 is freezing.
Anyway, they've been
32
saying,
is freezing in Fahrenheit. But to my point, to my had it, furthermore, when it gets to the metric system, I struggle. Yeah. Even though the metric system is so much easier because everything is in, denominations of 10. I struggle because I'm so American in the way that I measure the temperature and distances. I don't even really understand kilometers per hour very well.
Me neither.
And the rest of the world is all on this system. And then when I travel abroad, I have no idea what these temperatures mean. I was in Rome last summer and they're like, "Oh, it's going to be hot. It's 35. It's like, sounds pretty cold to me.
You're like, okay, great. Didn't you hear when we were young that you have to learn because it's getting ready to flip like our system?
That has been the biggest myth. They've never flipped it.
Never flipped it.
They've never flipped that shit.
And I think we heard that like in 3rd grade and we haven't heard about it since. So I'm completely fucking clueless about what they're talking about.
They've dropped the ball. They've completely dropped the ball on converting us over. But they also keep saying they're going to do away with daylight savings time. They haven't done that. I am a very ill-informed person abroad when it comes to centigrade, kilometers, the metric system, etc. I've had it with that.
I agree. It's been a racket for years.
For years. Furthermore, my had it goes deeper to Apple, the company, because when I open up my app, I wish that it would say it in both Fahrenheit and centigrade, because then I might learn something.
Right. That's a great idea.
I know. What's his name? Tim Cook?
Yeah, get on
I'm sure
that.
he listens to our podcast. Hey,
Oh,
Tim,
absolutely
could you
he does.
please do a little update?
Yeah, we want both.
Yeah, I would like to, when I open up, if I'm in London, I would like to open it up and see what it is in Fahrenheit for the reptilian brain in me. And then when I'm in Europe, the more evolved part of my brain, I would like to go ahead and see Celsius. Welcome to I've Had It. I'm Jennifer.
I'm Angie.
She's the star of the show. And she looks really pretty today for all of the YouTube viewers. Kylie, how are you?
I'm good. I've got a couple reviews that are really good examples that I want to set for all of our listeners.
Okay.
This one is 5 stars.
Okay.
And they write, name, Belinda. SSN. Social security number, 696-69-6969. Credit card, 6969-6969-6969. And cup size, Z cup. That's a 5-star review.
I love Belinda. That's all the information we need.
That's it.
She's a busty woman that's into oral sex.
Yes,
Sounds
I love it.
Right up our alley.
And she understood the assignment.
She did.
I've got one more, 5 stars. And they write, blood type, unsure, a rare one probably. Shoe size, 8.5 women's. Special talent, can fold my tongue into a clover.
I can do that. Oh my gosh. What?
Yeah.
That's very impressive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like that. Can you tie a cherry stem with your tongue?
I mean, I think if I really focused, I could.
Took that pickleball competitive edge into the cherry
It's just
stem
the
knotting.
situation with that is it's hard for me to get excited about that because you don't get your heart rate up.
Right. But maybe, I don't know. I've always been impressed with people that could do that.
You used to be a hot girl if you could do that.
Right.
Back in my day.
Like we used to say you were a good kisser if you could do that.
All right. I have a story that I want to share with you all that I found in the news that is breathtaking, to say the least.
Okay.
We've discussed that we've had it with doomsday preppers. And
Yeah.
we've discussed that we've had it with trad wives.
Right.
Well, it gets worse. I have found an article about a housewife prepper. She fled to remote Montana after 2023 Chinese spy balloon. It scared her to pieces, and she reveals her doomsday essentials that everyone should have to ensure survival in an apocalypse. And she warns, it's not if, it's when.
Well, of course it is.
Since making her move, the prepper has been busy readying herself for all manner of emergencies, whether caused by a natural disaster, foreign conflict, or another pandemic. One of her most popular videos, which has been viewed more than 2 million times, she explains, when Russia and China attack the U.S., you're going to need these. Here's what she lists: backpack, generator, and food.
Okay. What?
She says, we should all be aware of what's going on and take care of our families ourselves and not rely on the government to take care of us in a disaster situation. Elaborating further, she says, everyone should be prepping. As women, we are naturally gatherers. We're the ones who go to the store and we do all the shopping.
Oh, great point.
That's what she calls gathering.
Yeah.
And then they asked her, why do you think that you're a doomsday prepper? And she says, so I think it's just that I grew up with those traditional values and I'm using that in my marriage. And she also explains that her habits likely stem from her father, who always made sure the family was ready to brace for earthquakes. So there's several things I want to unpack here. Number one, that she is thinking that it's an attribute for her that she grew up with these traditional values that she uses in her marriage that lead her to the grocery store to gather.
Right. She is uniquely qualified to go to the grocery store and gather because she's female.
And I just
Obviously.
have to point out for the listener, it has to be said, she's a prepper and a trad wife, but she's also an influencer. Okay, you can't let them off the hook on the influencer thing.
Right.
You cannot. I'm sure she thinks it's a public service announcement. But this kind of shit is just so breathtaking to me because they think that they're smarter than like the federal government, like natural disaster plans. Furthermore, they think that they can outsmart, I assume, nuclear weapons.
Or Chinese and Russian attacks.
And furthermore, I went on this woman's page and it's just the paranoia
Yeah.
that these people live with and that they think that like any minute China, Russia is about to take us out. Now, granted, there are real, geopolitical issues where this could be real, but every single day, constantly prepping, it brings me back to one of our thesis sentences that I don't want to survive with these people.
No.
I want to be taken out with the first wave.
Right. Take me out with the first wave. Don't spare me. Just keep on keeping on.
Also, an interesting thing is most of these people are rapture believers.
Right. Could you tell by her page if she was?
I mean, I think the traditional family values just was a pretty big tell.
That was a tell.
But on the one hand, the rapture, it's all about you don't need any preparation, just accept Jesus Christ and you're up, riding on a horse with wings to the pearly gates with white capitalist Jesus. And then on the other hand, a lot of them are just like prepping to stay and I guess like skirt around, destiny and God's will and all of these things. It's a really weird combination of people.
Yeah. And it's also, either you're going in the rapture or you're prepping. Why both?
What about rapture preppers?
Rapture preppers. But then that would be counterintuitive. If you believe in the rapture and you're a prepper, that means you're not a true believer.
I would think that these people are experts in cognitive dissonance.
Right. I.e. the prepping.
Yeah.
The rapture. All the things.
Yeah. I think they're probably experts in cognitive dissonance. No doubt. No doubt about it. And here's what gets me about it is so many of these people, it's like, well, I'm going to protect my family.
Right.
And I'm going to take care of my family. And it's like, oh, the rest of us aren't doing that.
Right.
Because I would call taking care of my family not trafficking in conspiracy theories where we're paranoid nut jobs with assault rifles, banging everybody up all the time and bombing through the Capitol.
Right.
Freak shows. I don't know. There's something I would have to investigate, but it seems like this paranoia is like on steroids in America.
Yeah, you wonder if it's like, this paranoia always existed and we just didn't know about it? But with the advent of social media, now it's loud and proud? Or do you think there's more of it now than there was back when we were younger before social media?
I think it has all of these conspiracy theories are multiplying like a virus since social media. Were there probably some people that wanted to live off the grid before? Yes. But I mean, look at what QAnon, Alex Jones, all of these hoaxes and conspiracy theories just seem to get so much traction because the information delivery system is just rapid fire. It's light speed. And so you have it growing like a virus that even the trad wives are in on it.
Even the trad wives.
And they're so busy making bread, I'm shocked they could fit in the prepping.
Well, and going to the store. Because that's what women do. They go to the store.
They're gatherers.
They're the gatherers.
They're gathering at the store.
And I suspect her husband's out hunting for food.
I want it noted for the permanent record. My husband goes to the store. I don't.
I want it noted for the permanent record that I gather my groceries on my iPhone, have them delivered, a lot of times by a man. So there.
I love that. Okay. All right. So today we have one of my very favorite social media accounts, some of my very favorite comedians ever, and they are called the Good Liars. And talk about going in and taking one for the team.
They do. They do.
These guys go in and take it for the team all the time. And what they do is they go to Trump rallies. They were at January 6th. They go to all of this crazy clown show of the far right American political spectrum and interview people that believe crazy shit.
Right. They're 100% in.
And they have these guys, they are candidates for interviews in an intellectual headlock in about 2.5 seconds. So let me give you guys a little sampling of what you're in store for. Kylie, play or Seth, play the video.
It says never surrender?
That's right.
And that's from when he surrendered and got his mugshot taken?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thanks for letting me know.
Would you like that job to go interview the Trumpers?
Here's the deal. I don't think I have the patience for it. I think that I would get mad and start arguing. The way they can deadpan it and just go in and out.
It's a gift.
It's a gift. Like a normal person just does not have that tolerance.
It is just such great comedic timing.
It's wonderful.
And how they like improv with what they're saying.
Right.
And they're so quick-witted. I cannot watch their videos enough. I mean, it fascinates me that many people are collectively that stupid and follow Donald Trump that like wears layers upon layers of self-tanning cream.
Bad self-tanning cream.
With a comb over and gives himself golf trophies for fun.
Right.
And that's just, that's a mild dusting of all the shit that he does. Because I just can't get into all the other stuff because it's too depressing.
It is depressing. It depresses me when I'm around it. Like when I see that people actually believe it. But I'm really anxious to hear their take on it.
All right, let's welcome to I've Had It podcast, The Good Liars. This episode of I've Had It is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.YEAH. From tranquil villas to action-packed ski resorts with so many choices across the U.S., you can book whoever you want to be. That can look like booking a 5-star hotel to indulge your luxury side or booking a remote cabin in the woods to explore your adventurous side. Booking.com offers all these possibilities and more with their long list of accommodation options. Listener, I recently took my family to New York City and I could not have done it without Booking.com. From the tours to the hotel, everything was spot on and it was an amazing family vacay. This spring, check out Booking.com for your ideal hotel or vacation home, no matter where you go in the U.S. Book whoever you want to be on Booking.com. Booking.YEAH. Pumps, I feel like you and your kids are always going to the doctor, managing allergies, managing other illnesses. How do you manage to find the right doctor for you and your children?
I have discovered the best app. It's called ZocDoc, and it tells you what the best doctors are in your area, and it tells you in advance who takes your insurance. We've had such good luck using ZocDoc.
What I like about ZocDoc is once you find the doc you want, you can book them immediately. No more waiting awkwardly on hold with a receptionist. And these docs all have verified reviews from actual real-life patients. We're talking about booking appointments with tens of thousands of top-rated, patient-reviewed, credible doctors and specialists. You can filter specifically for ones who take your insurance, are located near you, and treat basically any condition you're searching for. Listener, go to ZocDoc.com/I've Had It and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/I've Had It. ZocDoc.com/I've Had It. All right, let's welcome to I've Had It, Jason and DeVrom, the Good Liars, one of my favorite Instagram pages ever. Talk about taking one for the team. You guys deserve a profile in courage.
Yes.
It's unreal, the shit you do. I want to inject every video straight into my veins.
Into your veins, we highly recommend not doing that. Do not do that. It will not be good for your brain. It will hurt your brain.
Yeah, that's kind of what we do when we go to these events. We're getting it straight to the brain, and it's not the healthiest thing in the world. So
that our listeners know, they go to Trump rallies, political town halls, and interview the far right wing of the political spectrum. And so you guys were at January 6th, were you not?
We were, yeah. We don't want to brag too much, but yeah, we were there. Pretty wild day. We got there the day before, and it felt pretty intense. But we could never have, predicted what would obviously unfold. But yes, we saw it happen.
How far in did you go?
Into the Capitol.
Yeah.
We did not go into the Capitol. I was trying to think of a joke to say there, but I didn't want to like implicate myself and have the FBI show up at my door. Yeah, exactly. No, we were leaving town when Trump was giving his speech, and then we saw like the crowd going from where Trump was speaking to the Capitol, and we pulled over, and we witnessed the moment that it was stormed and like they broke in to it, which we do a lot of funny stuff. That was something that was not very funny. It was not a fun thing to be at. It was definitely stuck with us for a long time. And we ended up getting surrounded by Trump supporters, by some of the rioters at one point too. It was not fun. It was not a fun day.
What do you mean they surrounded you?
They saw that I had a microphone in my pocket, and they called us the fake news, which I don't know. Maybe they're right.
We're not fake news. We want to say that for anybody listening. That is not what we are. We don't know exactly what we are, but not fake news. Not fake news.
Yeah. So they like formed a little semicircle around us, like 8 of them. And luckily, because other people had been like storming the Capitol, like a flashbang went off, which is what police use to like disperse protesters. And they all turned around, and DeVrom and I looked at each other. We're like, let's get out of here. That was enough fun for the day. That was a little too close for comfort there. So we got out of there. But before that, we got a lot of great videos. So I guess there was a silver lining to that day. But it was not a fun day.
Yeah, I think that when I watched it go down on TV, I was just like, oh my God, this is crazy. And then I thought that might be the end of it. And then they keep having these rallies, and it's kind of the same groups of people. And I keep watching your videos, and the stupidity just seems to get bigger after that. Does it seem like they're getting more?
It seems like it has to, though, right? Like once something like that happens and you don't go walk the other direction, like we thought that would be an opportunity for people to say, okay, this is not what I'm all about. This is not my political party. And it was just an opportunity to go separate ways. Once you start justifying it, it feels like people are so far down this path that there's like the only option is to double down, but it's starting to look more and more ridiculous. Like people are like, you know what? January 6th was actually the FBI, but also it was Antifa, but also everyone who was there was a patriot. And also, Donald Trump is still the president, but also Joe Biden is the president, but being told what to do by Barack Obama. And it's just like this stuff. It's like a maze that you have to walk through to still be on board. And that's kind of what we're seeing when we go to these events.
Rom, you're calling it a maze. I think you're just peeling the onion back. You don't know how deep this goes. It just goes really deep.
Are they off of the JFK Jr. being alive thing? I haven't heard that lately. Are they still onto that, or have they shifted?
They're still onto that. Some people are, but that has evolved as well.
Right. There are just more things now. There are just more of them, but they have not given up on any of this stuff. Anything you heard, there's still a big group of people who believe that, but now there are other additional like threads to follow. So
I just have a follow-up
no reason
question.
To stop.
Are they aware that JFK and JFK Jr. were liberal Democrats, or is that lost on them?
Don't get lost in the red tape here with all this stuff. That's something we've explained before, and like I was trying to say before, like the JFK Jr. is still a thing. But now there's people that believe JFK Sr. is alive and like currently president with Trump right now too, which is like, there's a videotape of him, famously getting assassinated. And they still believe that he is currently working with Donald Trump right now at 100. Well, how old is he, DeVrom? I got corrected.
I think we did 108 maybe.
108.
But yeah, you can also point out that they're liberal Democrats, but I think what they love is that they famously, I guess, feuded with the Clintons, at least for a time. So this is just another reason why he would be working with Donald Trump, because they both groups of people don't like the Clintons. So that's all you need is one little thing, and the rest can fall in line. And we're seeing that time and time again. Like one little thing you might be able to call a fact, and the rest you just run with.
Okay, y'all recently gave Governor DeSantis, whom we affectionately refer to as Governor Kitten Heels because of his, little heels that he wears. So we saw a little moment on the internet where y'all gave Gov Kitten Heels a participation trophy. And I mean, just, again,
We were dying.
Call me petty, call me a small person, but I live for that shit. Tell us about that.
Well, us too. We're petty and small at times. And that it was like Ron DeSantis was clearly going to lose, and he clearly was going to have nothing to show for this like whole election process. And, we wanted to give him something at least to say that he earned from this election, other than like burning through hundreds of millions of dollars and all that. He will have this trophy forever, and that's our gift to him. And just as a guy who like hates the idea of the participation trophy, like a thing that exemplifies everything that he says he doesn't believe in, but here he is just trying his darndest and losing in this presidential election. So we couldn't resist. We couldn't resist. It was at the Iowa caucus, and we went for it.
The wife looked like she was burning a hole through you. Like, did she get it before he got it? Or could you tell?
I think that probably happens to him a lot. Yeah. I think she knew what was going on a little bit. Also, he reached for it, and I'm really bummed he didn't grab it. He reached for it, he was going to take it, and then he kind of turned it into like a shoulder pat, I think, once he realized what was going on. But yeah, I think she had it figured out at some point. But generously from her, she started the speech with "Nothing's going to stop us," and I was like, "This is the perfect time." So they both did their part.
Oh, that's so good. Okay, let's move on to one of our favorite psychological case studies. And this is somebody who we think is the most unfuckable man, not only in the United States, but also the world. Mm-hmm. And of course, I am talking about Senator Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz. Okay, good. I
Gotta be.
I was like, I know what this is set up for. You didn't even talk to us about this.
No.
I just was like, that sounds like we're going to talk about Ted Cruz.
I think when you hear unfuckable, I think the brain immediately goes to Ted Cruz.
Yes, unsettling too. You could say just the most unsettling, awkward, weird. I think is another word that we've used in our
sad and weird. We've used a lot.
Sad and weird.
Oh, yeah. Sad.
We use unfuckable because again, we're small petty people over here.
Right.
Have y'all had any exchanges with him?
Many
maybe more than anyone else.
Okay,
Really?
tell us your favorite.
Well, there's a couple good ones. DeVrom gets up on stage with him at an event in New Hampshire, and Ted Cruz, they like do this big introduction for Ted Cruz, and then DeVrom just like follows him up on stage after, like, in front of this giant American flag. And Ted Cruz is about to start, and then he's just like, "What made everyone so sad and weird that you had to come out here today?" And Ted Cruz is just like, "Who is this guy? Why is he here?"
I've seen that.
DeVrom, do you want to tell the story of how you got on stage with him? The secret? The behind the
it's a
scenes?
big secret. It's a really complex secret. The security stopped me, and then I was like, "Oh no, I'm not going to be able to do this prank." And then I had a clipboard with me, and I just pointed at the clipboard, and they were like, "Oh, by all means, of course, you're supposed to be here. Sorry, sir." And then just walked up on stage. And yeah, it was a Second Amendment rally. So everyone was armed, and I called them sad and weird. And Ted Cruz wasn't quite sure who I was, understandably. But that was the first of many, many encounters.
Yeah, we performed an exorcism on him in New Hampshire later that year because we thought like he must be possessed by something. No human would act like this.
Right.
The only reason he could be like this is if he's possessed by a demon. And we performed an exorcism on him. And I'm sad to say, I don't think it worked. It did not work, actually.
Didn't work. We held up a mirror and we tried to get the evil to confront itself. Like we thought if he saw himself, like the evil spirits would just evaporate and leave. But he kept doing the same shit. So
yeah, he kept doing it. kept doing it.
Okay, let's get on to our brand of petty now. I could talk to you about this shit all the time because we love to traffic in right-wing politics, although we are very, very left-leaning. It's just so wildly entertaining and terrifying at the same time, which is, I think, why we all get such an adrenaline rush from it. But I digress. Jason, tell us what you've had it with.
Okay. Well, DeVrom and I, we travel a lot. We go to a lot of like faraway places, mid-sized towns all around the country. One of the things I've had it with is airport food, not airline food, airport food.
Okay.
And there's several different levels to this. One is the price of airport food. Anything you get, like you could get a chicken salad sandwich and you're not going to pay less than $18 for the sandwich. You could get a banana is $2 at the airport. And on top of it, the food is never good. Even if it's like from an established restaurant, it tastes, there's something like rubbery about it. It doesn't taste as good. I think something needs to be done to improve it. And I feel like it's highway robbery. So I've had it.
Something's got to happen.
Thank you, DeVrom.
Something's got to happen. Yeah.
No, I agree.
I just went through an airport. It was literally a chicken salad sandwich. And I was like, spiked it in the garbage can, 3 bites in, $18 down the drain. But it was the worst, maybe the worst sandwich I've ever.
Well, you can't ever tell how old the food is, but we had sandwiches one time. The three of us, Kylie, Jennifer, and I sat down at the airport. We had 3 sandwiches. It was $80. I mean, I was like physically ill.
I agree with you. I don't think I've ever had a meal in an airport, and we travel a lot too, where I have said, God, that was great. It's never.
Yeah. And why?
happened.
Why can't they do it? Why can't they just have a normal restaurant in an airport? It's like it's so bad. It seems like it's got to be. I'm just saying maybe there's a bigger plot behind it.
I think
it would be.
I think it's JFK Senior working together. They're controlling big airport.
Bad.
You know, I think you could probably get Marjorie Taylor Greene on this.
Yeah.
With Mike Johnson. And I bet it has something to do with the eclipse and the rapture.
Totally.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I would think it's probably all connected, and the space lasers and the airports.
Right.
That's
She'd
what
be
I
like,
think.
I love airport food. And that's because I'm close to God.
Right.
It only tastes bad to you.
That is a good way to say it. It's close to God, because I feel like you're getting closer to death every time you eat it. And just like, not just the quality of the food, but just like, I just spent all this money on this terrible, terrible sandwich here.
DeVrom, what have you had it with?
I've had it with beer prices. I'm sure this is an easy one too, I guess, but I was just thinking about it before coming on here. Like, I spend in New York City like $30 for a 6-pack of decent beer. And then that's just to drink it in my apartment, my shitty apartment, where like I'm on the ground floor and someone is not like very often peeing in the recycling area right outside my living room window. Right. And like, so I pay like $30 for the privilege of drinking a beer in my living room. And that's not to mention, like, if I wanted any like atmosphere, like say I wanted to go to like a sporting event or something, have a beer, it would be like $25 for one beer.
Wow.
Is this a New York problem, or is this Oklahoma City?
It's going to be cheaper. Okay. I can tell you that, because obviously Jesus, our governor Kevin Stitt,
right?
He dedicated every square inch of our state after he won his second term to Jesus Christ. So knowing that we are under that tutelage, I could only imagine that our beer would be superior,
right,
more godly, and less expensive.
Yeah, just check the prices. I think you're probably right. Just check the prices, and that you could prove that out right there.
Exactly.
Basically, holy water. It's
yeah.
Holy water. That's exactly what it is.
Do you think if I go back to New York, I'm away right now, but when I go back to New York, if I dedicate the state to Jesus, do you think the beer prices would drop, or we're screwed?
Let me tell you.
I don't think it couldn't hurt to try.
Let me tell you what happened after the governor did that. Fucking nothing.
Fucking nothing.
Fucking nothing happened. And Oklahoma is, I think we're ranked 49th in education, which is so surprising considering the dedication of every square inch.
That's so cool that you guys beat someone. That's great. Congrats. Is that what you were looking for? The congrats, I assume there. That is cool not to get last.
We have to know who 50th was now, though.
Yeah.
Sure, it's probably Alabama.
I think it was Alabama or Mississippi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say Mississippi, but I was surprised that Mississippi, like their life expectancy was like 45th or something. I was like, hey, way to go. That's
Great.
That's great.
Killing it.
Now, do you
Yeah.
guys go to a lot of red states for these rallies?
Yeah, it's usually like a mid-sized city outside of a slightly larger city, but most of the time in like an airport or a field somewhere. So they're red states, but they just look like fields, wastelands, farmlands that we're gathering in.
I want to know this. Yeah. I'm obsessed with his obsession about size. I think I know why he's so obsessed with size, because he has a little bitty tiny pee-pee. But what are the crowd
Penis.
sizes? A little tiny mushroom penis.
This is something that I wish would go away. Not us talking about Trump's penis right now. So we can talk about that for as long as we want. But the crowd size, like everyone, I feel like on the left wants to be like, nobody likes Trump. He's like, the crowds are dying on, like whatever. Like they're not popular anymore. His crowds are huge. He sells out giant things. They're like, he's doing them in fields where it's like a festival. Like it can go back as far as you want. Like he is very, very popular. Usually by the time we leave, there's still a line of cars that are waiting to get into the place. He is extremely popular with a certain portion of the population. So he is very, very popular.
Jason, that kills me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would think so, because when I don't obviously go to Trump rallies or really leave the Oklahoma City area because it gets really Trumpy in the surrounding suburbs. But when I get on Instagram or something and I see like Al Roker posted a picture with Jill and Joe Biden and the Easter Bunny, and I looked at the comments, and it is just rabid, unhinged Trump supporters that are just going crazy, like Joe Biden is this diabolical, nefarious mastermind. And I see there's just thousands upon thousands of trolls in there. And I'm like, oh shit, like there's a lot of them.
But isn't it interesting that he's this diabolical mastermind, but also people say too old to do anything?
Exactly.
Yes.
Like he both occupies like the greatest fears, but also he's like worth ridiculing to these people. So it's like, which is it? Are you scared, or do you think he's too old to be president? But people are, like Jason was saying, whether it's one or the other, people are really engaged. And a lot of times, like, we go early so that we don't have to wait in the 2-hour line of cars. The people are there. And like you said, whether it's the comments or us seeing at the rallies, like the support is real. It's hard to say exactly what percentage of America it is, but they're there and in big numbers.
Pumps, I know that we both recently ordered sets of Cozy Earth sheets. And indeed, they are cozy. One could say they are as soft as a mother's touch. My son recently was like, Mom, what's up with these sheets? These are delicious. And I was like, you know what? I'll order you a set as well. Because when you use the code HADIT, you can get 35% off at CozyEarth.com. Cozy Earth bedding is temperature regulating. It has superior softness, unparalleled fabric, materials and weave, quality and longevity. Get this, all products come with a 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty. Listener, you've got to incorporate Cozy Earth products into your self-care routine. This can enhance your sleep quality and overall wellness. Treat yourself to the ultimate in comfort and indulgence with Cozy Earth bedding and sleepwear. Prioritize your self-care and sleep health because you deserve it. Again, that promo code is HADIT for 35% off at CozyEarth.com. Soft as a mother's touch. Okay, we're going to play a game with you guys called Had It or Hit It, okay? If you don't like something, you'll say had it, and if you like it, you'll say hit it. Oh my God. Welcome to Had It or Hit It. I would hit it.
Had it.
Had it. I hit it every day, sometimes twice a day. Okay. Had it or hit it, RFK Jr.
Had it.
Had it.
Wait, had it. Yeah, had it. Not going to hit that. Not going to hit that. Although he is a fit boy. He's very, very in shape.
I hesitated because he works out a lot. So I was like, maybe I'd hit that. But
I think he's doing steroids.
Yeah. Steroids and conspiracy theories and had it.
Okay, had it or hit it, Stanley Cups.
Stanley Cups?
Do you know what these are? You live in
No.
New York. I want to live in
Stanley Cups. The Stanley Cups. I was
Yes.
just hearing hockey. And I was like, hockey's fine. I don't care.
I
about
thought this was
Stanley.
a hockey reference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Had it.
I know what you
don't
said, the
understand.
Stanleys.
Why would it be better? Why would it be better than the other ones? Why are they better than the
it's
other ones?
$60,
Why would anybody need many of them?
Well,
they cost a lot of money. It's a
They
status
fit in your
symbol.
cup holder perfectly. I love mine. Jennifer hates them. Let me ask you this. Do you see a lot of Stanley Cups at Trump rallies?
I'm gonna be on the lookout now. It has not been something that I've even thought about. I've never seen the Stanley Cup at a Trump rally, but I will look for the Stanley Cups.
I have
at
a
Trump
working
rally.
theory, although this is very anecdotal on my part, that the Stanley Cup is a gateway drug to Trumpism. So if you guys could do some on the field
Whoa.
research for me,
Get back to us on that.
if you could
Perfect.
start, try to find like a link a la, Homeland, Carrie Matheson, linking up Stanley Cups to Trumpism. Or Glenn Beck, remember on Fox when he used to make all those crazy connections?
Absolutely.
We
We'll
can
have
try, but
spring.
like we see a lot of like Miller Lights at Trump rallies, and you drink those straight from the can. So it's hard. But we will check it out though.
Be
Maybe
on the
we'll
lookout.
find the link you're looking for. Yeah.
Okay, had it or hit it, the gay agenda.
Hit it. I love the
Hit
gay
it.
agenda.
Hit
love
it.
the gay agenda.
Yeah.
Keep up the agenda. Keep it up. Keep it up, guys.
I love it
Why
too.
not?
I remember back when I think it was George W. Bush was running against John Kerry, and the big thing was the Democrats and the gay agenda, and that Karl Rove put on the ballot in several states the gay marriage initiative, and everybody came out and voted for George W. Bush because of family values, and I think that's kind of what Trump and the far right is doing right now with all of the anti-trans rhetoric, is trying to demonize that group.
Definitely. It feels like it's the same playbook. And it's interesting now because Democrats are kind of, it's not similar really in any way, but as far as they're putting things on the ballot now with abortion rights.
Mhm.
So I think that hopefully that's going to turn people out too for Democrats in November too, especially in Florida, where it looks like it's going to be on the ballot in Florida. But yeah, that I often think of that in 2004, like we're in the middle of the Iraq war, and he's just like, gay people are bad. And that was like, he was like, right, guys, come on. And then like, that's kind of what swung the election, even though there was like an unpopular war going on and he was just a terrible president. He ended up winning it strictly on homophobia.
Last one, had it or hit it, the war on Christmas.
I hit it. I love the war on Christmas. Guess what? I'm going to do it. I am a proud soldier in the war on Christmas. I've been fighting it for so long. I'm going to make it. I want to ruin Santa Claus for all the kids. I'm going to just ruin it all. And I'm coming after Easter next. We're going to go after Easter. We're going to go after, I don't know what other holidays are super important, but we're going to go after Easter next. We're not stopping with Christmas. We're taking over.
This started
Easter.
young for me. I grew up in a small town in Colorado. When we would go to the mall, and for 2 months a year, it was Christmas stuff.
Mhm.
For 2 months a year. And I would look around, and I was the only Jewish kid in town pretty much, but I'd be like, isn't this too much? And everyone was like, no, we love this. My war on Christmas started when I was like 7 years old, and I thought someone's got to do something about this.
It's
So I'm
personal.
glad you're talking about it. It's
Yeah,
very
no,
personal.
I want to talk about it too, because I just, I see Christmas every year.
All the time.
It's constantly winning every year. Even me, an atheist, I put up 2 Christmas trees in my house. So sometimes the battle is within the house. Sometimes it's inside your own home. So it's a
Coming from
constant
inside the
struggle
house.
that we're all fighting,
Well, the Christmas tree is a pagan symbol, isn't it? So
It
you
is.
could kind of be like, I know it's not atheist, but it's not, Christian. So you're kind of winning by putting them up. And I would make the argument you should put up more Christmas trees to fight Christmas.
There you go.
We had a thing. I can't remember what it was. It was like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, where I tweeted something that was like something about the war on Christmas. And then somebody tweeted something like terrible in response to it. And it was like a tongue-in-cheek like joke tweet about like, I'm ready for the war on Christmas. And they started like saying all these terrible like words, throwing them at me. And then people like looked at their profile, and it turned out they were a school teacher and I don't think it was Oklahoma. I think it was Texas. But they found out like that this was a teacher who was like teaching civics or something. Like he was like a history teacher or something, and he had just been trolling all these people's comments. And like the people that saw this, like it ended up being a news story. And it's just wild to think like that people actually think there's a war on Christmas,
Right?
And some of them are teaching your children and trolling people online.
We should say, though, we have been arrested one time and all the stuff we've done. We have been arrested, and it was for shutting down SantaCon. SantaCon is in New York. All the people wear Santa Claus costumes, and they just like have sex in public and throw garbage everywhere and throw up on the street. And so we posed as a group of concerned citizens, and we put up signs that said SantaCon is canceled. And we showed up on the morning of SantaCon and said, get back on the New Jersey Transit or Long Island Railroad or wherever you came from and just leave. It's canceled. And we got arrested. So I was just thinking about it while we're talking about it. We really walked the walk. War on Christmas.
Totally. You really are foot soldiers on this thing.
That's right.
SantaCon. Well, if you guys ever come to a Trump rally in Oklahoma City, we would love to host you and have you in studio. I am the biggest fan of your work. It brings me so much joy that you go out and take the bullet for us to have that content, because it's both funny, terrifying, and fascinating to a window into the mind that is this cult that is, sweeping the country and has been sweeping the country for the last 10 years.
Well, we would love to come visit you in Oklahoma City, and maybe we got to put this on Donald Trump. Donald Trump, if you're listening, I don't know if you're a listener of this podcast here. I've had it, but if you are, have a rally in Oklahoma City so DeVrom and I can come down there. Maybe we'll go to a Thunder game.
Yes.
There's a deep playoff run. And we would love to come in the studio again and hang out with you guys. So we appreciate that.
I would love it.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Oh, and you have a live show, right? And a new podcast.
That's right. We have a live show on May 23rd in Washington, D.C., and you can get tickets at goodliars.com. We also have a podcast, The Good Liars Tell the Truth. New episodes come out every Tuesday, and you'll hear behind the scenes stories. And we're kind of going to be walking you through the 2024 election from our point of view. We've been on the ground now and been to a lot of different crazy events. So you'll get kind of a firsthand view of what's really going on the ground. So Good Liars Tell the Truth. It's everywhere podcasts are available.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, guys.
I cannot tell you how much I love the Good Liars.
They're so funny. They're so affable and warm.
Do you follow them on Instagram?
Yes. It cracks me up that these people just don't seem to get it. Half the time, they don't get it.
They're so smart, so clever, so creative. And I would just go as far to say what they're doing is like a great service to the internet to show how insane and to highlight the cognitive dissonance in which that side of the political spectrum now operates.
Yeah, it's really, like you said, it's terrifying, fascinating, and funny all rolled into one.
Here's a little dream of mine. I think it would be a total blast to like go on a covert mission with them and go to a Trump rally. I know that that's fucked up. I know that's fucking crazy. But I would just I'd be like, can I be the camera woman and just stand there and film and I would like to see it firsthand. I would like to see it in person.
There is a part of me that's kind of fascinated with it too, that I'd kind of want to get my eyeballs on it.
How terrifying is it that they said his crowds are gigantic and he's wildly popular?
That really disappointed me. I really wanted him to say like 200-300 people. That's what I was hoping for. So that kind of was just a little pin in my balloon.
You would think he would have to be pretty popular to have something like 90 felony indictments and still win the Republican nomination.
Right. As I've told you before, I wouldn't date someone with 90 felony charges.
What about 85?
No.
80?
None.
50?
0.
Pumps. I think you're giving
maybe like a
yourself too
DUI
much
20
credit.
years ago, but I mean, no.
I could see you dating someone with 10 felony
indictments. That is bullshit. No.
I think you're selling yourself short. I think you're way more accepting. Let's look at your ex-husband, for example. Not that they're in felony indictments, but
Yeah, a lot of questionable.
Shit there.
Yeah. No, I think that would be just a red flag even I could identify as
Don't
bad.
act like you've all of a sudden got some outstanding picker.
No, I'm saying as bad as my picker is, and it is confirmed the worst in history, I still think that I'd be like,
Here's the greatest thing about Pumps, listener. The more declarative her statement, the more she will do the exact opposite in record speed. So stay tuned to I've Had It podcast, where Pumps will be dating a convicted felon before you know it. We started the podcast talking about dicks. We're going to end it with Pumps getting felonious dick. Go to our link tree. Go see all the shit that we're up to. Leave us a 5-star review. Buy our merch. Stay tuned right now if you're a member of Patreon for our post show. And Pumps, tell them.
we will see you next Tuesday or Thursday or both.